friends, welcome back to another wonderful morning in the Sanctuary Garden. I am Alexis, the Sanctuary Gardener, and I'm so happy to have you here. Today is July 3rd, 2023, and we are about a good 6 weeks into the gardening season. June was a crazy busy month for me, so although I got some stuff done in the garden, I didn't take the time to film it. But that's okay, because now I can give you a July garden update. Let's go. So an honorable mention before we get started, check out these hydrangeas my mother has. They are alive with bees. Let's start with these cucumbers. Holy cow, look at how big they've gotten. I believe this side is the market more and this side is the silver slicer. I only have one cucumber plant on this side and it's filling out pretty well. I ended up putting two here because I had two that germinated and I just couldn't toss a plant out. So that's why that's looking a little bushier. We'll see how it goes. They're just slowly climbing up the trellis. About every day or two I come out and make sure that some of these vines are getting intertwined. So right now I kind of ripped that off. I'm gonna put him up through here and help him go up that way. And you really gotta keep up with this because they can grow new tendrils like right here in a day. This guy's gonna be huge. This guy's already grabbing onto a strawberry plant. So let me shove him back through here too. Just kind of try to keep them orderly as much as possible because once they get really, really big and go up the trellis, there's really no coming back. You just gotta do your best as you go. This guy's got one coming out of the bed. Not sure if I should cut that one off yet or just add it to the mix, but we've got so many climbing up here now that I just don't know if we need one more. Sounds nice to have it really bushy and full, but then you're just opening yourself up to more sickness and disease and the leaves. I've actually cut out a lot of leaves in here to keep the bottom dry, and I might have to come in and do it again. But so far pretty healthy. We do have some cucumbers here somewhere. There we go. Hi, little cucumber. Happy birthday. Looking good. So cool. I give him like 3 days. Maybe 4. That beautiful cucumber flower like glistening in the sun. So cool. Hi, little guy. Great timing, sir. So cool. Gonna do his job. All right, and moving on to the strawberries. I've come through a second flush where all of the flowers have now turned into strawberries. Oh, look at you, cutie. That's cool. Right before she blushes. That's a good one. She looks like she's ready. Should we give her a good old try? Pretty good. I have to admit, I've had some inconsistent watering just because it hasn't really rained much, and so it's kind of dependent on me to water the entire garden, and I'm not so great at that. So maybe they could be a little juicier, but it's not bad. Now moving to the side, we have the Nasturtium. This is an Alaska mix, which is why the leaves are variegated. Look how pretty. Just like dancing with one touch. But man, look at that. So some fun facts about nasturtiums are they're actually edible. So you could take off one of these gorgeous leaves and put it on a salad. I've heard if you dice it up and put it on like top of tacos, that's pretty good too. It has like a peppery, spicy kind of flavor. Peppery, yeah, that's really good. And so do the flowers that come too. So you could even eat the flowers and put that on a plate just for looks or because you like the spiciness. If you want to grow something beautiful that brings pollinators to your garden when it flowers, and then also looks great and beautiful and edible, get a nasturtium. I've recently heard that nasturtiums are a trap crop A lot of like bugs and pests in the garden are attracted to them. So if you put them in here, the bugs and pests will hopefully go after your nasturtiums and not all of your other plants that are more prized to you. I have had some pests in the garden. I could put a clip in there of that. Look at that. That is not good. I would call that an aphid infestation. Holy cow. We have little white wormies that are just coming out, and we have all of these, wow, seeds, babies. I don't know what that is. I want to say these are aphids, but it could also be something else. It doesn't really matter what it is. I'm taking this out now. This flower is covered. They're decimating the baby before it's even going to bloom, and I don't, wow, want to find out what my garden is going to look like if I let all of these babies hatch. This is insane. Cut it all the way down to the base of that stem. Holy cow. Wow. So I did some research. I'm pretty sure you can even see stuff sticking out of them. I'm pretty sure that these are aphids. Wow. I just like, it looks so gross, but I can't stop looking. And I'm also just like wowed as well. Like the persistence of some garden pest to just live its life and like thrive is accurate. Like you do your thing, just not in my garden, but also like, wow. I just read that these are covered in like a wax. So like predators do not want to eat them. Wow. And that's just really cool. That's really cool. What do you think, Bubba? Is that really cool? Not so impressed. And so far my nasturtiums aren't really working as a trap crop because I don't see any type of bugs on here. That's okay. I didn't really put them here for that anyway, so it's just like a dual purpose, if you will. All right, and let's talk chamomile. Look at how crazy this is. One plant has 1, 2, 3, 4 stalks coming up, and like they're so heavy. 5. They've just fallen over. Let's go ahead and get a little close. Come on, get a little closer. Chamomile. One of my garden favorites since the first time I put it in, I think in my very first garden, which I just put in for like flowers and I thought maybe tea, but since then I have to put it in every garden. They're just so beautiful and bright and sunny, and they bring pollinators in, and of course you can make tea out of them, or salves, or oils. You could probably get creative and make like a simple syrup and put it in your coffee and do like a chamomile latte. So there's a lot of things that you can do with this, and also a lot of benefits, calming benefits, happy benefits, just because how can you not be happy with chamomile in your life? So some of these are pretty fresh. So I wouldn't say they're necessarily ready for picking yet, but when the flowers start to put their petals angled more down towards the ground is a really good indication that it is time to pick them. So I am trying to look for an example. Okay, this guy, he's maybe a little too far gone, but see how his leaves are angling down? So you're gonna go ahead and pluck him. So you just take it from the top, maybe put your fingernail behind it, and there you go. You could put this on a piece of paper or hanging in a screen mesh kind of thing to dry it out by the air. You could also dehydrate it, but something this fragile, it's probably better just to let it dry by the air. And once it dries out, you can store it in a jar or airtight container and use it for tea in the winter, or tea right away. So right now I'm gonna let these flowers do their thing, and when they start to look, maybe in a day or two, a little more sad, that's when I'm gonna come out and start plucking them off. The more you pluck a chamomile plant, the more flowers you're gonna get. So keep plucking throughout the whole season, dry them all out, get a whole big giant jar of chamomile before the winter comes. Trust me, you won't regret it. Just look at how beautiful. I just can't help it. They always look like constellations to me. Just little flower heads, like they're part of the stars. I love them. All right, let's go ahead and check out the inside of the bed. My zinnia patch. My dog has started to finally leave them alone. So now we're actually getting some really nice, vibrant leaves and some gorgeous flowers. Look at these, right in time for the 4th of July. They look like little fireworks. These are beautiful. Oh, just so pretty. And then over here is another purple. And then these were ones I grew from seed, which is why they're a little bit different in shape and color. Can't tell, but this is like a bright orange. And this is almost like a reddy orange. I don't know, but they're gorgeous. I'm glad that I planted that tiny little plant that I didn't think was gonna make it, because I don't know, it just adds a pop of a different color. Wow, you are elegant. Look at you. Wow. You see the pink in there? Those little tiny flowers? You are a gorgeous princess. They say, you know, when you say positive words to your garden, it pays off. Those plants grow better. I'm sure you've heard of those studies. So, you know, tell them they're pretty. Like, treat them like a little, you know, like your girlfriend or your boyfriend. Tell them how cute they look today. And who knows, maybe they'll just put off some more gorgeous flowers because you said that. And then another daisy on the other side of my bed. I got one single tiny little flower. She's cute. She's not doing much, but she's cute. Speaking of kind words, I was always giving some kind motivation to my tomatoes, and it looks like it actually is paying off. I think my last video, the tomatoes were this tall. And I was like, I believe in you. And now look at it. I do believe in you. I don't even know if you need my belief anymore. Look at this. So tall. These two I did from seed. They're about the same height. The one in the back is a little taller. And as to be expected, it came from the store and it was healthier when I got it. But wow, tomato wall is in full swing. Let's go ahead and squeeze ourselves through this little walkway and see if we have any tomatoes coming. And this is a black cherry tomato. So I've got a good handful here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we got about 10 little cherries here started. First tomatoes of the year. And if I come up into the plant a little bit more, I see some more coming in there as well. So awesome. Just kidding, we have even more over here. So we have way more than I thought. You're doing a great job, tomato plant. Keep it up. Oh, you're so pretty. Looks like a little, we got a couple flowers here and the ones that I started by seed. No tomatoes yet. You can do it though, I believe in you. You're just a little behind, but you'll do it. Look at, we got some up here started. Some tiny flowers that have yet to open. And we had some rain yesterday. So I think these are gonna really take off very, very, very soon. Okay, can we just, I don't know if the camera's gonna pick it up, but like these flowers are glistening in the sun. Glistening. Do you have glitter on you, sister? Beautiful. So that is a very short tour of the garden bed I have, but that's not the only part of the garden I have this year. We come to the other side of the garden, we have my berry plants. I did later find out that these blueberries I bought, I don't know if I've said this before, were actually not made to be in a pot. They're made to be planted in the ground. I didn't thoroughly read the tag well enough at the Home Depot, so we're not getting any berries. Maybe next year, but you know, I didn't get blueberries last year either, so I guess this is just a new theme. But it looks healthy, so maybe next year, maybe not, whatever. But we are producing mushrooms. Look at this. Look at this little happy mushroom forest. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this to me is telling me that my soil is healthy. My moisture's probably pretty good. And these like will only come up for like a day or two and then they die off and become organic matter for the soil again. So I mean, like, I'm not mad about it. I'm just gonna keep them here, let them do their thing. They came up like overnight. I was out here like yesterday, 2 days ago, and they weren't here. So cool. A good old sweet zucchini girl. So last video, my dog kept eating off all the nubs, all the leaves, and it was a big issue. The plant would never grow. So I ordered this metal garbage can off of Amazon and stuck it on here for about 2 weeks, maybe a week. Yeah, about 10 days over the entire plant. It still could get some sunlight and some rain through the mesh, but it was safe from predators like my dog. And now look how beautiful. Look how beautiful. No zucchinis or flowers yet, but no pollinators could really get in there even if there had been, but we're starting to get some tiny flowers. we'll see if this year is the year for zucchini. She's doing great. This is the raspberry plant, my second year having it. Its leaves aren't looking great. I need to add more acidifier to the soil. I did just add some berry tone a little late. You're supposed to do that right when the flowers are blossoming, but I figured better late than never. But I'm getting a lot of raspberries. A lot of raspberries now. I don't even have time to come out and get them all, so some of these are getting a little far behind, but I just love raspberries. So those of you who have been following me for a while know that raspberries have a very special place in my heart. A couple years ago, I was a live-in caregiver for my grandmother, and she had planted raspberry bushes many years before in her backyard. And by the time that I had moved in there, she had gotten too old to continuing her gardening around the house, which meant like checking on the plants and her flowers and her berries. They just kind of took a back seat. So by the time I moved in there, it kind of became my job to harvest the raspberries and cut some peonies that she could no longer see and put them in vases. And I would just go out, and her bushes were massive. They followed along a chain link fence, and they just kept coming. We didn't really even have to do anything with them anymore. They were self-sufficient, and they did great where they were. And I would just go out and pick so many bowls in the morning and bring a fresh bowl to my grandma, freshly rinsed, and share them with my dogs. And it just felt like such a special tradition to look forward to at the end of June, early July. And so now I have these raspberries every time I pick one. I can't help but to think of her and how special that is. So I think raspberries for me are going to be something that I grow in a container, in a pot like this, or one day, hopefully, I will have a home that I can start my own patch in. And if I ever leave that home, I'll leave the berries for someone else who comes to take care of that home after me. And if I stay there forever, then the berries can get passed down to my grandchildren and theirs, and kind of keep the raspberries alive. They're good. They're good. So I think the last time I showed you the vertical planter, everything was fresh and brand new. Everything's exploded. We have peppers now. We have some tomatoes that are now in bloom. And then a lot of herbs that are still looking really good and fresh. For my past experience, I know peppers just really outshine in this thing. So that is why I was so excited to plant a lot of peppers in here, because I couldn't have them in my bed. But look at that. That is a shishito, I believe. This whole thing fell over because I didn't plant it, or I didn't put it in sturdy enough when I first set it up. So all of the tags fell out, and some of these peppers I'm gonna be really confused on. So it's my fault, but it'll be a fun surprise. We got rosemary, lavender, which did bloom one, and that was about it, but I'm okay with that. Parsley, looking big, luscious, and gorgeous. Look at you, girl. And they actually don't they're kind of like, I think they're a member of cilantro, and they like the cooler weather better. So because I have this in the shade over here for most of the day, it's actually really happy. But the one I have at my work bolted, it was not happy getting that much sun. So peppermint. This is a vine that my mom has in the backyard, which wants to climb up the entire stalk. Trying not to let that happen. Let's check it out over here. Ooh, look at you. What are you? I think this might be, I don't know. I got so many new peppers this year. I really don't know. Lunchbox orange. That's what I was gonna guess it is. It's white. So maybe it's gonna ripen into a really pretty color. I don't know. What are you? Are you spicy? So I want to say it's just a banana pepper. I think I got a hot banana pepper. Looking good. Here we got some more tiny shishitos. So pretty. This is when the flower didn't fully break off, and it can kind of deform the pepper, but these peppers are a little goofy looking anyways. It doesn't really matter. Yeah. And then the tomato. I put a sun sugar one, I think, here, because I know that they are beasts and they just produce massively no matter what. I put a stake in here because I was hoping that I could tie the main leader to this stem, but the main leader got away from me when I was on vacation. Check this guy out. He goes up and it gets curly and does like a little roller coaster ride here. So I'm just gonna have to stake him up to here like that and kind of let him do his own thing. Fun fact about tomatoes, if you didn't know, I could come down here and cut this tomato stem, like right here if I wanted. Just cut it off, this whole piece. Put it in like a cup of water, like a vase, and it'll grow roots. And then you could put those roots into the ground and have a whole nother tomato plant from this tomato plant. Now this only works for indeterminate tomatoes, plants that just keep growing and growing and growing. Determinate means there's a definite number of blooms or tomatoes that plant is going to grow, and it's only going to get to a certain height before it dies out. Indeterminate, they just keep going pretty much forever until they get sick or until the season dies, the weather changes. But so if anyone close to me wants like a tomato plant, I could just give you a little cutting and you can have a whole tomato right here, and that'll become its own plant. It's pretty cool. Propagation. But so overall, this thing is working for me, and I barely have to come by and check on it, barely water it. It catches a lot of water in the top and evenly waters all the way down. So it's pretty much very self-sufficient, but gorgeous and works beautifully. And now we're gonna wrap this video up before it gets too hot out. I learned my lesson last time. Thank you guys so much for spending some time in the garden with me today. As always, it is such a joy to share my garden space with you, and I hope to inspire or motivate you to grow some of your own food, even if it's flowers on a patio. I hope you all have a wonderful 4th of July, and I look forward to seeing you next weekend.